So welcome to Facebook Live Across the Pond with Darren and Steve. We're a day, an hour and 35 minutes late. But that's because it was a public holiday here in the US. It was Memorial Day and you had a nice bank holiday in the UK, Darren.
Yeah, I did. Well, we did, I should say. It's fantastic. I don't know what the weather's like in Chicago, but 24 degrees centigrade, which is what, in the 90s in the US?
Yeah. We listen. You can probably see I spent a few days in the sun, playing with TikTok and all sorts of other kind of social media stuff that we're going to talk about later.
Yes.
But there's a lot going on. Politicians being bad boys and all sorts of things like that in the UK, Darren.
Well, I say politicians. I mean, politicians are always bad boys, but one particular politician, Dominic Cummings, it was revealed that he was out. He travelled, I don't know what the miles was, but he travelled to Durham to apparently for an eyesight test, but he did it during the lockdown. So the whole press, politicians were calling to get rid of him. And he came out yesterday and explained his reasoning. Whether you agree or not is everyone has different opinions on this. But what I thought fascinating, Steve, was that the media chased him down the road or went to interview him, and they were in buffalo herds altogether. So the very people that want to get him fired for not doing social distancing and breaking the rules are all about 6 inches apart.
Incredible. So, I mean, what you've got going on here, of course, is everybody's supposed to be wearing masks and gloves and all of that. But if you've seen any of the footage of Trump and Mike Pence, the VP, visiting places, everybody around them has got a mask on except them. And which to me just seems a little bit hypocritical. But anyway, coronavirus is just the virus that keeps giving, I think, in more than one way, right? For all sorts of stuff. So yeah. We got some humorous things coming up about that a bit later on as well. But we are very fortunate who stepped in at the very last minute for us to have Vafa Taleban joining us today. So we're going to bring her into the studio. Vafa, welcome to Across the Pond with Darren and Steve. Great to have you on. Thanks for joining us. It's looking lovely wherever you are.
Thank you for having me. Yes, it is. It's my back garden. It's my natural habitat. This is where I carry out my life and my business these days.
And great stuff. Yeah. So, Vafa, I don't know if you want to explain you're an NLP coach, and the company's called Personal Revolution. I keep worrying that I might get that wrong.
No, you're right.
Do you want to explain what NLP is and what you do?
Yes, of course. So I'm a life coach and I do that with an NLP hat on. And what that is really is to kind of linguistically program certain positive behaviors in the clients that I speak to. So with NLP, you have the power of understanding what their thought patterns are, and some influence into changing that, because don't forget that we are, as human beings, a sum of all the habits that we have built for years and years, certain beliefs that we have about ourselves, depending on the environment we've grown up in, the culture that we've had, the communities we've been in, both home and work culture actually has been very dominant in how we have created those values. And with NLP hat on, I have the ability to understand people's kind of linguistics, their preferences, their limiting beliefs, and then able to change that perspective for them. So the process of change is much easier with NLP when you have some knowledge of it, and that's what I do.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you did a post on Facebook saying, what was the quote? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're saying sometimes you need to change, and change good.
That's right. That's one of the NLP presuppositions that I live by and lived by when I was on the process of kind of, redefining who I was, what my identity was, what my purpose was. It was very important for me to have that stuck on the wall, actually, and look at it, because, as I said, we are the sum of the habits that we have built. And if we are unhappy in any way with the current existence that we have, the only way to change that is by do something differently. And it's very difficult at times. That process of change doesn't come easy, because it's really difficult to think differently, to even believe that it's possible to have a different result. And that's the beauty of having NLP training, because you do manage to actually open the doors of wonder, engage in some imagination and imaginatory work, and then assume that if you were this kind of 7-year-old child, how would you think? Because I don't know about you guys, I learn from my child every day. If I ever kind of say something like, I can't do this, or I'm not very good at that, he'll immediately turn around and say, Mommy, trust in yourself. Mommy, believe in yourself. And it's just so beautiful knowing that he hasn't got those limiting beliefs. So if we could actually take ourselves back to that stage also, put our kind of big blue sky thinking hat on, and just imagine. That's what I take my clients through. Just imagine. You don't have to do it, but just imagine what you want if you could be different. And that is one of the most powerful exercises that I take them through. And by imagining, the doors of wonder open, and they start thinking that maybe it is possible to believe something that's slightly different. And that's where that presupposition comes in handy.
Excellent. Steve, I know you're a great fan of NLP.
I am. It's really interesting to hear you talk about people's limiting beliefs and kind of stepping outside yourself, I guess, and opening yourself up to the possibilities, be that cosmic dreaming, or opening yourself up to the universe and sending out those good vibrations. Where do those two things kind of cross over for you, Vafa, with NLP? Are there things practical things people could do every day to kind of mold those two things together?
I think I'm a great fan of Brené Brown, and what she talks about really resonates with me deeply. So everything that we tell ourselves, everything that we tell other people, so when we start speaking, we're telling a story. So whatever we're talking about is just a story. It's just our take on whatever topic it is that we're talking about. So I think the first steps of realizing that what you're thinking in your head, what you're reiterating to the people around you, it's just a story. And that's what Brené Brown says. My story is, because if you are communicating that with somebody, they will say, well, actually, something, I look at it from a different perspective, and that's you've kind of deleted a certain amount of information, distorted a certain amount of information, you're kind of generalizing quite a bit, and they're all little things that we go through in NLP form to kind of make meaning of the situation that's happened, because we are meaning making machines. That's what we do best. So it's just having, when you talk about perspectives, one of the powerful exercises, again, that I take my clients through is giving them a different perspective. Just imagine you are watching yourself act. Just imagine you're a camera on the wall and you're watching the interaction of yourself and somebody else. What do you see? And what are your suggestions to yourself as the camera in how you are contributing to that conversation, to the story, and how you can perhaps fine-tune that and just make that relationship slightly better if we are talking about a conflict.
What's the practical use of that then? Say in a business situation, say you've got, I don't know, you're doing a sales presentation or something like that. Should you almost be, as you say, using that camera to visualize how that whole meeting goes and what the outcome is? Is it?
I think so.
Is it as powerful as that?
Yeah. And we have 3 positions that we put people in. So you are first position. So what do you see? Just tell me what you're seeing, what your expectations of the situation are, or what your story is. And then walk in somebody else's shoes. When they say, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, that's precisely what you need to do. So if you were to put yourself in your client's shoes, in your customer's shoes, in your wife, husband, your child's shoes, somebody you're having conflict with, anybody, you can apply to any circumstance whatsoever. If you put yourself in their shoes, how do you see yourself from their perspective? And then step back altogether. How do you see that relationship from a fly's eyes, if you were to be a fly on the wall? And that is really, really successful, actually, in changing behaviors, sorting, resolving conflicts, understanding other people's perspectives. And, I have had situations where clients have said, I just can't step into that person's shoes. I just can't. The disagreement is so much that I can't. And that's absolutely fine. But at least you're given a chance to see it from somebody else's view. Or maybe you see then that you're not getting on because of the different personality types that you are, perhaps. And is there a common ground where you come and meet? Mm-hmm. So it's all about the different personalities and how we are able to understand somebody else's preference. Because not everybody has the same preference as we have with regards to understanding the story.
Sure.
It's also fascinating, I think, that quite often we don't realize that we're telling ourselves we can't do it. So I've had it before. I've done lots of presentations. Yet sometimes I can do a presentation, and just before you go in, you start thinking, I can't do this. I'm not sure if I've got, no, you need to put it together. And the brain starts filling up with all sorts of reasons why you can't do it, you're going to fail, it's not going to work out. But effectively, the whole idea of the visualizing yourself doing the presentation is that, correct me if I'm wrong here, Vafa, is that if you're reprogramming your brain to say, well, I can do it. I have got the belief, I've got the ability to do it. There's nothing to fear.
Precisely. And that's, as coaches, that's what we take people through, is just asking good questions as to what is your limiting belief? What is it about this situation that is making you feel you can't do it? When was the last time you did do it? When was the last time you were successful at doing it? What's so different now? And then it's suddenly, well, actually nothing. I'm the same person. I've got the expertise. I've done it before. And you just step into your power.
Yep.
Sure. You see that a lot in athletes, I guess, don't you? Running a race and having, a personal best or a world record, and then running 2 weeks later and not being competitive. That's the sort of thing I guess you're talking about, that mentally you're prepared, but sometimes maybe physically your body just doesn't come along for the journey. Would that be a fair analogy?
I think that, it's just sometimes you're not stepping into your circle of excellence. That's something else that we do. We kind of, create, as NLP coaches, I create a circle of excellence for my clients. So if they've got any limiting beliefs around speaking, so I'm really bad at public speaking, I can't do it. So how would you rather be? If you're bad at it, how would you rather be? I'd rather be good at it. So when was the last time you were good at something? So let's just bring those feelings back. Let's kind of magnify them, and let's then remember, let's create some sort of an anchor where you can just step into that circle of excellence, whatever that excellence happened to be, whatever that great state that you want to bring back is, so that you can be your best version of yourself when you are in front of clients, presenting or speaking as a public speaker, or doing a job interview. It could be anything. So that's why we help people in different with regards to different circumstances, but using similar technique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool.
And I hope you don't mind me saying, Vafa, I know we had when we first met in October, November last year, one of your biggest issues was you were worried that you couldn't do video and post on social media. And I think the last 2 months, I don't know how many videos have you done?
I have no idea. At least one a week, sometimes more.
Yeah. And Steve, you can see the fear in Vafa's.
It just radiates fear. Listen, I wouldn't have known that. I'd have said you've been doing video presentations and interviews like this for all of your business career. So you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you. What's the future, do you think, post-COVID then for for you, Vafa, in terms of business and how people come out and transition out of this? What's your views on that?
I think that we are going to come out and we're going to be more resilient and more flexible creatures if we are to succeed. So for me, it's the survival of the most adaptable. I think that's what it's about. To have the flexibility to change direction as need is there. I don't know. Freezing? Am I freezing on you?
We can
just a
little.
Yes.
There you go. We get to the interesting stuff, and the internet takes over.
I don't know if you wanted to try and repeat that, or Steve, I don't know if you wanted to summarize. Are you still there?
I'm just going to pause for a moment because I'm not sure if I'm.
Yeah, that's one of the.
Am I back?
Oh, here we are. There you are.
Yeah,
no worries.
While.
All good.
Yes,
I'm so.
I think you're back with us, Vafa. I don't know if you wanted to just quickly repeat the last little bit you said about coming out of the pandemic and survival of the fittest.
Yes, survival of the most adaptable. For me, that's the most important. It's the survival of the most adaptable. The people who can change their path and think differently, they're the ones that are going to survive and thrive, I think. For me personally, I'm desperate to take my workshops to schools like I wanted to just before COVID hit. So for me, it's important to give the children of every age resilience to
I think Vafa is saying that she's taking her workshops to schools to prepare children and to make them more resilient going in the future. I hope I've paraphrased that right.
Deal with the problems that are put their way, and that's what I'm going to concentrate on.
Superb. Well, I know we've got a couple of slow technical issues. So, Vafa, how can people get hold of you? What's the best way that people can reach out? No, I don't think. I think we've lost her, unfortunately.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, you're back. Here we go.
Did you catch that? Oh, are you still there?
Okay. Well, I tell you, we'll say bye to Vafa for now. Darren, we can put up all our details when we put the post out there.
Just one thing. I don't know if your microphone is muted. I don't know if that's the issue. I know on the screen it says you've got the mute on.
Yeah.
Can you hear us? No. Okay. No. Sorry, Steve. Carry on.
Okay. Well, if you could hear us, thanks for joining us. We're going to put all your contact details up on our regular post that goes out on LinkedIn and on our Facebook pages. Vafa Taleban, thanks for joining us on Across the Pond today. Just great having you on. Interesting subject, mate. Love that kind of content.
Yeah,
always good.
And a lot of people don't realize. I think a lot of people don't realize what's going through their mind and how it's impacting the decisions they make and what they do or don't do.
Yeah, I love that whole stepping out and seeing it like you're looking at a camera and watching the situation and playing that out. Maybe we should try that more often. So, good work. So, listen. What should we do first? Should we do this week's funnies? Because we've got one each today, which is a bit unusual. Both on similar veins, of course. Do you want to go? Should we go with?
Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, go on. You want to show yours, and then we'll we'll come back both on similar veins this week. This one.
Well, this is actually from you, Steve, not really from me, but I'm happy to share it, which is, I don't know if this is true or not, but Burger King is handing out huge Burger King hats in order to help with social distancing in Germany. Brilliant.
Fabulous. Yeah, and on a similar vein, we love that one. If you visit Burger King, peeps, then this is great. On a similar vein, let me just show you. This one. This came from Anderson Cooper, and it's gone. Oh, never mind. No, so we'll come back to that later. We'll share that one. Didn't seem to want to come up today, but that was a similar vein. It was people wearing those floaties that you get in pools on hats. So that was incredibly social distancing in the mix these days. So we're going to have a bit of a chat about TikTok.
TikTok, yeah. So someone's been posting regularly on TikTok. I won't say who, but his name's Steve, and his surname's
You got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm new to this. I'm trying to understand it myself as a social media and marketing person. I think I've done 2 videos and they're not the best. How are you getting on? Do you want to give us a quick overview of what TikTok is?
TikTok top tips. So listen, someone turned me onto this couple of weeks ago. A lawyer down in Florida who's been using it incredibly well, is generating leads all the time. But so I've split. I'll be honest. I've split out 2 profiles. I have a personal profile and I've got a pop-up expert profile. And while I'm learning, so I don't look, like I haven't got a clue. I've been posting a lot of stuff on the personal side, and I have to say it's incredible. I mean, the user interface I absolutely love. You're able to start videos. There's lots of effects on there. The way that you can share on other social media platforms, I think, is tremendous. It kind of, the TikTok goes way past Instagram, I think, as far as I'm concerned, for sharing. There's an awful lot of content going out on there right now, from humorous stuff to coaching. There's some real value in what a lot of the posts. Of course, there's a lot of dancing and all of that. But actually, no, I don't dance. I sing. Anybody that wants to, we'll post one, Darren. But there's a lip sync on there that I absolutely adore. I love to sing anyway, but so that's quite funny. Listen, I'd encourage people just to take a look at it, right? For business, a lot more adults on there than you realise. This isn't a teenage thing at all. And when you've got people like Gary Vaynerchuk, who today, believe it or not, is doing a 12-hour live TikTok. So he started 3 hours ago, I think. Now, in fact, let me just tell you how he's doing. He's raising money for a challenge here called the All In Challenge. There we go. So far he's raised $227,185. Gary Vaynerchuk on Across the Pond, our new guest. Look at that. So I mean, I love the guy anyway. So. But he's doing a 12-hour kind of live on there, which I just think just shows the value of what a powerful platform it is.
Yeah. So let me understand this correctly, Steve. Twitter, Facebook, maybe not Facebook so much, but Twitter and Instagram, the amount of people that see your posts can rely on how many followers you've got. But with TikTok, you don't really have to have that many followers for that many people to see your posts. Interesting point, mate. So I think a lot of it is about the way the algorithm works with TikTok anyway. Shorter videos don't seem to get onto your page as much as the longer ones do. I think the 11 seconds or more is kind of the tipping point for how many views you get. And you can use using hashtags as well makes it a lot easier on TikTok to use hashtags than it does on Instagram, which I love. There's also a really cool feature if
for those who don't know TikTok, about duetting with people. So you can find a video that you really like. I'll put one up I've done, and actually, you know, almost be on, you know, do this joint TikTok together. Now, if you pair up with somebody who's got a tremendous following, then it has a kind of knock-on effect. So I did one with a psychologist. Great post. In fact, I think that's the one we'll show. And it's up to 53,500 views.
Wow.
And commenting as well. I think they're the key things. You know, make sure you use hashtags. Great. Make sure you comment well, post regularly. You don't need those followers in order to get the traction, to get the views. But of course, that's how you build that up going forward.
Yeah, because I think I had one follower, which was you. And I did my first video, and I think about 65 people saw the video within the first 24 hours, which is it's a good start. But yeah,
unbelievable.
So sorry, if you're running a business, if you're on social media, you're recommending that you definitely should check out TikTok, and it's not just kids and singers.
No. I mean, I reckon COVID's really helped it. Actually, I really do. I think, as I said, you know, there's lots of adults gone on there now, but the content. You know, the content is fun, but you can be serious with it. There's lots and lots of people posting about how to use TikTok as well, which I personally found tremendously helpful. But it's a fun platform to use. If I have one negative about it, it's addictive, right? I mean, you know, 30 minutes can go like that. If you're not careful, so
keep focused.
Which is fine. I guess why people are social distancing and being at home, and you know, wondering what they're going to do next. But that would be my one thing. A couple of days ago, you know, an hour went by and I didn't even realize. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah,
right, thank you. Yeah.
Cool. So that's us done for this week, mate. Day and a bit late, but. Hope everybody's enjoyed that. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This will go out on LinkedIn as we normally do. We'll put up Vafa's contact details. Vafa's still with there. I don't know if she wants to see if we can get her back to say goodbye. Vafa, I don't know if your connection's strong enough that you want to say goodbye to everybody. No. Okay. We'll say goodbye for now. We look forward to seeing you all again back at the same time, Monday, 9 a.m. Chicago time, 3 p.m. UK time. From Darren and from me, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
See you all soon. Take care, everybody.